Well, one of the things that, we obviously market conditions are an issue. I'm not sure that we can do a whole lot to legislate market conditions. What we can do, though, is try to facilitate these trade deals. So the administration has gone about this. We know that the TPP deal did not pan out. I'm not sure that's altogether a bad thing. What would be a good thing is if we had enough USTR representation to fan out and engage in bilateral deals concurrently, because I think that's important. I actually favor bilateral trade deals because you and I can make a deal one-to-one, and you and I can work within the confines of that deal. We bring 15 others into that deal, it gets really, really complicated, and it's difficult to enforce the terms of that deal. And so I think we are better served to engage in bilateral trade deals. I would just like to see us do it more proactively and concurrently, not address them one at a time, but fan out and get those deals done, because we really need it. We're now, 7 years into a market decline that has just, I say a decline, it's just been a steady slump over the years. We just can't seem to break out over reference price, sometimes even to reference price in many cases. And that's a problem. These trade deals actually yield positive results for the taxpayers in that we will see the markets move a little more, and we can get rid of some of these crops that are keeping prices depressed. And we really need that. And so you can name a few countries. Japan would be one that would be awesome. We need USMCA to be fully completed. That's going to require some congressional action. The UK is got great potential there. So I'm not sure what to anticipate with regard to Brexit, whether that's going to be a crash Brexit or whether they're going to have an opportunity to ease out. It seems to me like it's probably going to be a crash. The upside there for us is I think that gives us an immediate opportunity to engage in a trade deal with the UK, which would be a significant market for us. A few little things we can do to address that, to facilitate a quick UK trade agreement, and I think that would be important for American farmers. Well, I think first off, there are some simple things that we need to coordinate, I think, with the ag industry in general, and that's our communication with the general public and how we sort of make the case for why a farm bill is necessary. So we talk about, well, it's important, we got to support these farmers program. Nobody really cares about farmers. And I said that in the room with a room full of farmers. And I say that to be quite candid, that people just really are less concerned about where their food comes from today than they ever have been. They might talk about what the food safety to some degree, or they might talk about how important it is to eat organic or things of this nature, but they're not talking about the welfare of the people who provide that food for them. And so I think it's important that we engage the public in the context of national security. What happens if those producers go away? What happens if we have to rely on other countries to feed ourselves? I think we're a long way from that, but I think we're at the point where we need to have that conversation, and the American people need to recognize that food security is a national security issue, and those countries that rely on others for their food and fiber are reliant on them for a variety of other strategic reasons, and that makes them vulnerable. I don't want to see us vulnerable to any other country. You can make the same case on energy as well. So we want to be energy independent. We also want to be food independent, food secure, and we can do that certainly in this country, but it does require an investment. That investment yields positively to the consumer in that we have the lowest food prices in the world. We have the cheapest, safest, most abundant food supply in the world, and we want to keep it that way. And so it's a good investment for the taxpayer.